All right, so in this fashion fix, I took this dress that just didn't seem to fit me right. It was just too large up on top and made my chest look saggy. But I absolutely love the floral pattern on it and the colors that are in it. And I love the cut and how it's short in the front and longer in the back. And it just flows and there's a nice lining underneath it. And I really just want to try to reuse some of my clothes, even if they don't fit properly. So I decided to turn this into just a skirt so that it would fit me a little bit better and so I could have a wider range of uses for it also. And so the first step in turning this dress into a skirt was to seam rip. Really all there is to it is pulling at the seams that you can see those threads appearing and taking your seam ripper and just ever so carefully sliding it in between those seam threads and ripping them apart, and it should just come apart easily like it is showing in the video. It's really not that difficult. You'll want to try to stay as close to the thread as possible and definitely not try to catch any of the fabric because you can poke a hole in the fabric with this little tool. And so once you're done seam ripping, you're going to have two pieces. I didn't particularly care for the raw edge on the top of the skirt. There was some elastic up there and just a lot of fraying happening. So I wanted to find a way to cover that, and I will show that soon. And I also really wanted to reuse the buttons that were on the top of the dress because they were just really pretty and still matched, and I just wanted to add a little bit of decoration to the skirt with these buttons. I also wanted to cover the raw edge of the skirt and the elastic because I don't want it to fall apart when I do wash it. So I took the top part of the dress and flipped it inside out and cut off the lining fabric, just that solid green fabric on the inside, and then proceeded to sew that over the top of the skirt just to create a little bit of character for the top, but also to just ensure that all of the threads and the elastic band are tucked away inside and safe. And you can see here the finished product of that. Unfortunately, it looks great, and I'm super happy with it and the little flare that it adds to the skirt. But I accidentally, even though I tried super hard not to, sewed over some of the elastic band, which basically prevents it from stretching nearly as much as it did before. This dress didn't have a zipper. You could just slip it on and off. And so now I needed to figure out a way to make this fit and to get in and out of it without ripping. So now we enter the wing it stage because the only way I can make this easy to get into is to add a zipper. Never done it before. So I know that you need to, cut a slit in the fabric. So I did that. And I wanted my edges clean, so as you can see, I pinned them over and I did hand sew that down so that it just had like a nice little hem line right there along the edge. In doing so, I was worried about eliminating fabric from around the diameter of it. So I dug through my sewing kit and found this really pretty red satin ribbon that I've had for probably 10 years just sitting there. And I always find it funny how random things can somehow fit together even if you found them years apart, and this red ribbon ended up matching the floral colors perfectly. It's about 1/2 inch wide also, which gave me a little bit more fabric to work with because I didn't really have any more green fabric to add in to make sure that the skirt would be big enough around. By adding this zipper, I was in a way eliminating a little bit of the fabric to create that hem and to get this zipper in as well. So by attaching this ribbon to each side of the zipper, I was able to give myself about an extra inch of fabric around the waist, basically, to ensure that I could still fit in the skirt while it was zipped up. I just want to pause here real quick also and let you look at the difference in the right and left side. I did the icky side while I was pretty tired and late at night, and I did the straighter side earlier in the morning and after I'd had a good night's rest. So it really does make a difference, and those little details they're important to me, I guess. So just know that sometimes it's okay to set your project aside for the night or maybe a day or two and come back to it with fresh eyes. It can make a world of difference. And I lightened up this clip just so you could hopefully see the sew lines a little bit better and just how it was placed together. Those hemmed skirt edges are on top of the red ribbon on each side, and then I just hand sewed it down the same hemline that the skirt had, just doing the regular old school back stitch. And I just tried to keep it as straight as possible, and as you can see, it did give me, in total, I'd say at least 1/2 inch. If anything, it completely replaced what I folded over to use to create the hem. And then I also decided I was going to add a little bit more ribbon to the top so that I could also tie a bow, which would relieve some of the tension off of the zipper and the threads holding that together. And in the end, this was the final look. I had a tank top that was white that I spilled ketchup on, so I dyed it red, and it ended up matching this perfectly. It's super fun, it's super flowy. I was able to wear it to work. I got a couple compliments on it, and all in all, it's just a really great outfit, and I'm excited to see what other tops I can wear with it, and what other shoes too, because it's really versatile. It'll be fun to add some different jewelry and stuff with it too, and style it for fall and spring and summer. But yeah, that is how I took my green saggy top dress and just turned it into a simple high-low flare skirt that has a bunch of color options to work with and ultimately just fits my body and my personality a little bit more. I hope this gave you a few ideas for maybe a few old pieces in your closet. Try to reuse those instead of just throwing them out. And leave some comments down below. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'm honored you chose to waste some time with me. And please join me for my next one. Subscribe and like and all that. Wash your hands, wear a mask. I love you all. Bye.